I've always been so anxious about this day. But now that the day has come, the intimidation has faded away, I think. This speech that I chose by Ashton Kutcher has 3 key points: opportunities, being the best, and living life. I believe if you want to accomplish those 3 things, you have to be confident in yourself. I'm trying to be confident right now in what I'm about to tell you. I thought that might be interesting to tell you guys about the stuff that we do in the industry. There's a lot of inside secrets to keep your career going, and a lot of inside secrets to making things tick. My name is actually not even Ashton. Ashton is my middle name. My first name is Chris, and it always has been. It got changed when I was like 19 and I became an actor. But there were some really amazing things that I learned when I was Chris, and I want to share those things with you guys because I think something will be here today. So, first thing is about opportunity. The second thing is about being the best, and the third thing is about living life. So, first is opportunity. I believe the opportunity was a lot like hard work. When I was 13, I went first job with my dad carrying shingles up to the roof. And then I got a job washing dishes at a restaurant. And then I got a job at a grocery store deli. And then I got a job in a factory sweeping cheerleader dust off the ground. And I've never had a job in my life that I was better than. I was always just lucky to have a job. And whatever job that I had was a stepping stone to my next job. And I never quit my job until the next one. And so opportunities look a lot like work. 2 is about being the best. The best thing in the entire world is being really smart, and being thoughtful, and being generous. Everything else is useless, I promise you. It's just stuff that people try to sell to you to make you feel like less. So don't buy it. Be smart, be thoughtful, and be generous. The third thing is something that I just relearned when I was making this movie about Steve Jobs. And Steve Jobs said, when you grow up, you tend to get told that the world is the way that it is. That life is to live your life inside the world, and try not to get in too much trouble, and maybe an education, and get a job, and make some money, and have a family. But life can be a lot broader than that when we realize one simple thing. And that is that everything around us that we call life was made up by people that are no smarter than you. So you can build your own thing. You can build your own life that other people can live in. So build your life. Don't live one, build one. Find your opportunity and always be the best.
In the end, that was the choice you made. And it doesn't matter how hard it was to make it, it matters that you did. Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, mirrored the message in that quote in his commencement speech at Princeton University in 2010. The speech is all about the choices and gifts we have in our lives and what we do with them. Through my 10 years at St. John's, and no doubt at Plant next year, I have had and will have to make choices. This speech goes into the importance of those choices and how it will affect your life. Cleverness is a gift, kindness is a choice. Gifts are easy. They're given after all. Choices can be hard. You can seduce yourself with your gifts if you're not careful, and if you do, it'll probably be to the detriment of your choices. This is a group with many gifts. I'm sure one of your gifts is the gift of a smart and capable brain. I'm confident that's the case, because admission is competitive, and if there weren't some signs that are covered, the dean of admission wouldn't have let you in. Your smarts will come in handy because you will travel in a land of marvels. We humans, plodding as we are, will astonish ourselves. We'll invent ways to generate clean energy and along with it. Atom by atom, we'll assemble tiny machines that will undersell walls and make repairs. This month comes the extraordinary but also inevitable news that will synthesize life. In the coming years, we'll not only synthesize it, but we'll engineer its specifications. I believe you'll even see us understand the human brain. Jules Verne, Mark Twain, Galileo, Newton, all the curious of the ages would have wanted to be alive most of all right now. As a civilization, we will have so many gifts, just as you as individuals have so many individual gifts as you sit before me. How will you use these gifts? And will you take pride in your gifts or pride in your choices? I was working at a financial firm in New York City with a bunch of very smart people, and I had a brilliant boss that I much admired. I went to my boss and told him I wanted to start a company selling books on the internet. He took me on a long walk in Central Park, listened carefully to me, and finally said, "That sounds like a really good idea. It would be an even better idea for someone who didn't already have a good job." That logic made some sense to me, and he convinced me to think about it for 48 hours before making a final decision. Seen in that light, it really was a difficult choice, but ultimately, I decided I had to give it a shot. I didn't think I'd regret trying and failing, and I suspected I would always be haunted by a decision to not try at all. After much consideration, I took the less safe path to follow my passion, and I'm proud of that choice. Tomorrow, in a very real sense. Your life, the life you often from scratch on your own, begins. I will hazard a prediction. When you are 80 years old, in a quiet moment of reflection, narrated for only yourself the most personal version of your life story, the telling that will be most compact and meaningful will be the series of choices you have made. In the end, we are our choices. Build yourself a great story. Thank you, and good luck.
Colonel O'Brien gave a speech to the graduating Dartmouth class of 2011. The speech was about failure and how you can learn from it. He also writes about what you plan to do today and not be what you plan to do tomorrow. I chose this speech because it presents failure as a way of learning. You know, New Hampshire is a special place. When I arrived here, I took a deep breath of this crisp New England air and I thought to myself, wow, I'm in the state that's next to the state where Ben and Jerry's ice cream is made. But don't get me wrong, I take this task very seriously today. When I got called 2 months ago to be your speaker, I decided to prepare with the same intensity many of you devoted to a very important term paper. So late last night I began. I drank 2 cans of Red Bull, played a few hours of Call of Duty, and then opened my browser. I think Wikipedia put it best when it said, Dartmouth College is a private Ivy League university in Hanover, New Hampshire. But enough. I came here today because I have something real to tell you. Way back in the 1940s, there was a very funny man named Jack Benny. He was a giant star and easily one of the best comedians of his generation. And a much younger man named Johnny Carson had very much wanted to be Jack Benny. In some ways he was, but in many ways he wasn't. He emulated Jack Benny, but his own quirks and mannerisms, along with the changing medium, that pulled him in a different direction. And yet, his failure to completely become his hero made him the funniest person of his generation. David Letterman wanted to be Johnny Carson, and was not. And as a result, my generation of comedians wanted to be David Letterman, and none of us are. My peers and I have all missed that mark in 1,000 different ways. But the point is this: it is our failure to become our perceived ideal that ultimately defines us and makes us unique. It's not easy, but if you accept your misfortune and handle it right, your failure can be a catalyst for profound reinvention. So at age 47, after 25 years of obsessively pursuing my dream, that dream had changed. For years in show business, the ultimate goal was the host of the Tonight Show. It was the holy grail. And like most people, I thought that achieving that goal would define me as successful. That is not true. No specific job or career goal defines me, and it should not define you. In 2000, I told graduates not to be afraid to fail, and I still believe that. But today I tell you, whether you fear it or not, disappointment will come. The beauty is that through disappointment we gain clarity, or the clarity comes conviction and true originality.
I'm here today to share with you a speech about dreaming and following that dream and doing whatever is possible to accomplish that dream of yours. It's about getting all the losers out of your life and living a life that you want to live, not one that everyone else wants to live. I don't know what the dream is that you have. I don't care how disappointing it may have been as you've been working toward that dream. But that dream that you're holding in your mind, that is possible. In the process of working on your dreams, you're going to incur a lot of disappointment, a lot of failure, and a lot of pain. For those of you that have experienced some hardships, don't give up on your dream. Greatness is not this wonderful, esoteric, elusive, godlike feature that only the special among us will ever taste. It's something that truly exists in all of us. It's very important for you to believe that you are the one. Most people, they raise a family, they earn a living, and then they die. They stop growing, they stop working on themselves, and they stop pushing themselves. And a lot of people like to complain, but they don't want to do anything about their situation. And most people don't work on their dreams. Why? One is because of fear, the fear of failure. What if things don't work out? And the fear of success. What if they do and they can't handle it? But people who are running towards their dreams, life is a special kind of meaning for them. The people that are living their dreams are the people that know that if it's going to happen, it's up to them. If you want to be more successful, if you want to have and do stuff you've never done before, invest in you. And even though you face disappointments, you have to know within yourself that I can do this. Even if no one sees it for me, I must see it for myself. If you're still talking about your dreams, if you're still talking about your goals, but you haven't done anything yet, Just take the first step. Look inside yourself, figure out your dream, get the losers out of your life, look at your dream, review it every day, and say to yourself, it's not over until I win. You can live your dream.
I watch a lot of TV, but I've never thought about how much work and thought it must take to write the actual script. Callie Galori is a motion picture screenwriter, and I'm sure she's made numerous amount of mistakes when writing scripts. In the following speech, she talks about many of the obstacles in her life and how she overcame them. During my 9 years of attending St. John's, I've made mistakes and have come across difficult situations, but eventually worked through them. I know that next year at Berkeley, I will continue making many mistakes and running into tough situations. However, I will learn from my mistakes. The message this speech gives will always stay with me, because it's a speech that's about what's next, which is always a question that is on your mind. All that stuff, and I don't have any of it now. But I was thinking about that time in my life when I was the age that most of you are now, and I couldn't help but think, boy, if I knew then what I know now, things would have been a lot different. Because I'll tell you the truth, when I left school, I didn't know what I was doing. I thought I did. I had a plan, or a semblance of a plan. But between then and now, I was led, or what really went down, a simple variety of garden path. I made some wrong turns, U-turns, did donuts in the parking lot, went uphill, downhill, and sometimes I just coasted. I've traveled a lot of roads, and once or twice, I even made a road where there was no road before. The point is, as misguided as it seemed at the time, it all added up to something. Cumulatively, it added up to a life that's happier for the distance I've traveled, wiser for the mistakes I've made, stronger for the experience I've overcome, and stronger for the experience, and richer for the experience I've overcome. Some of which I'd probably trade back for time, but maybe not. One of the wisest things I learned in college was something that I read on the bathroom wall, which I know is a pretty sad statement, but one that taught me to take your wisdom where you can find it. And what it said was, recognize your limitations, and sure enough, they're yours. Now, this really stayed with me through the years, and I'm glad I had the good fortune to read it, because the world will provide you with every imaginable obstacle, but the one most difficult to overcome will be the lack of faith in yourself. Leave to others to have doubt about you. In fact, I suggest keeping a list of those names, and when you've succeeded beyond your wildest expectations, you can drop them a line thanking them for their support.
The speech you are about to hear was delivered by a man named Eric Thomas. He is a former professional football player who works now as a motivational speaker. I chose this speech because it was delivered with high energy, emotion, and enthusiasm. The message is amazing. If you are willing to work hard, really hard, and stay focused on your goals and dreams, you will be successful. Now it's time to redefine the garden. You thought it was over? Well, it's just getting started. See, this is the part. This is the part where life demands you make a lifelong commitment. This is the part where life demands you make a vow, come hail or high water, that you're willing to pay the price, the full fare, where you earn your spot with effort, with sweat, with blood, with tears. And so you say you want it as bad as you want to breathe? Then it's showtime. It's examination time. It's time to get tested. To test your will, your endurance. It's time to test your heart, test your limits. This is the part where you reinvent yourself. Sleep? I don't sleep. You thought that was it? Well, it goes deeper than going without sleep, because you might miss the opportunity to succeed. No. It's about no days off. No weekends, no holidays, no birthdays. Listen to me. No days off. No half days, no holidays, no snow day. It's about gaining the competitive edge. It's about separation. It's about separating yourself from the pack, the competition. It's about being a little faster, a little stronger. Listen to me. A little faster than you were last year, last month, last week. In fact, you got to be faster today than you were yesterday. And you can't afford on the road to success. You can't afford to make excuses. No excuses when you feel pain. And trust me, you will feel it. You got to go deep down, beyond exhaustion, beyond a workout. And when it's harder than you imagined it would be, when it takes longer than you thought it would take, and when the load is heavier than you thought you could bear, and all you want to do is give up, and all you want to do is give in, and you feel like you've given all you've got to take one more step. You've got to run one more lap.
charts the future. These 4 words were spoken by Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, in his speech to the 2013 General Assembly. To me, they signify the importance of never giving up, no matter what happens. He further said, "Hope charts the future, but vigilance protects it." After why? Ladies and gentlemen, one cold day in the late 19th century, my grandfather, Nathan, and his younger brother, Judah, were standing in a railway station in the heart of Europe. They were seen by a group of anti-Semitic hoodlums who ran towards them, screaming, "Death to the Jews." My grandfather shouted to his brother to flee and save himself, and he then stood alone against the raging mob to slow it down. They beat him senseless. They left him for dead. And before he passed out, covered in his own blood, he said to himself, "What a disgrace, what a disgrace, that the descendants of the Maccabees lie in the mud, powerless to defend themselves." He promised himself then that if he lived, he would take his family to the Jewish homeland and help build a future for the Jewish people. I stand here today as Israel's Prime Minister because my grandfather kept that promise. And so many other Israelis have a similar story. A parent or a grandparent who fled every conceivable oppression and came to Israel to start a new life. Together, we have transformed a bludgeoned Jewish people into a vibrant, thriving nation, defending itself with the courage of modern Maccabees, developing limitless possibilities for the future. Now, the Jewish people's odyssey through time has taught us 2 things. Never give up hope. Always remain vigilant. Hope charts the future. Vigilance protects it. In our time, biblical prophecies are being realized. As the prophet Amos said, "They shall rebuild ruined cities and inhabit them. They shall plant vineyards and drink their wine. They shall till gardens and eat their fruit. And I will plant them upon their soil, never to be uprooted again."
If you can dream it, you can do it. That is what Walt Disney said, to truly get people to believe in themselves, and that doing that makes you capable of anything. This speech inspired me because he talks about how he never gave up and that having perseverance is what helped him so much to make Disneyland and to be successful. I want you all to know that if you really do believe that you can do anything you set your mind to, if you have enough perseverance, then you will be able to succeed. I once said, "All the adversity I've had in my life, all of my troubles and obstacles have strengthened me." You may not realize it when it happens, but a kick in the teeth may be the best thing in the world for you. You guys should be proud of yourselves. You have come to college, and this is the moment you should be most proud of. Nothing can overcome your joy. You have passed through all your classes. When I arrived in Kansas City, I met Ihrig. I know, your name. Don't tease him. He's a very skilled cartoonist. When we joined together and made a company, it didn't go well. We were able to make the company, but it only lasted 1 month. We didn't give up on our dreams. We got a job at the Kansas Slideshow Company, and that is when I originally got into animation. I would be drawing picture after picture, millions if necessary, just to have somebody take a step. When I worked and I made lithograms, we thought we had it good. We had a camera and workers, but customers were a little short. When lithograms went bankrupt, I moved to live with my brother in Hollywood, and that is where Walt Disney Pictures and Mickey were born, and you know the rest. Think about what I said earlier. All the adversity I've had in my life, all of my troubles and obstacles have strengthened me. You may not realize it when it happens, but a kick in the teeth may be the best thing in the world for you. If I were to have succeeded in the first thing I've ever done, then I may not have tried harder. I may not have had Mickey or Walt Disney Pictures. The kick in the teeth has helped me throughout my life, and I am thankful for it. Never give up. Perseverance and hard work is the key to success. After all your dreams can come true if you have the courage to pursue them.
Good.
patriotic people who are devoted to serving our country and preserving freedom. For this reason, I have chosen a speech by General Douglas MacArthur as an acclamation. He is primarily known for distinguishing himself as an officer fighting in 3 wars: World War I, World War II, and the Korean War. He gave this speech to the Corps of Cadets at West Point after receiving the Sylvanus Thayer Award. Now each year, an award is given to an officer who demonstrates the ideals for which General MacArthur stood. And this year, my cousin is one of the nominees. MacArthur's life story can be summarized by the 3 words of his own motto: duty, honor, country. Duty, honor, country. Those 3 hallowed words reverently dictate you ought to be, you can be, what you will be. They are your rallying points. To build courage when courage seems to fail, to regain faith when there seems to be little cause for faith, to create hope when hope becomes forlorn. Unhappily, I possess neither that eloquence of diction, that poetry of imagination, nor that brilliance of metaphor to tell you all that they mean. The unbelievers will say they are but words, but a slogan, but a flamboyant phrase. Every pedant, every demagogue, every cynic, every hypocrite, every troublemaker, and I'm sorry to say some others of entirely different character try to downgrade them even to the extent of mockery and ridicule. But these are some of the things they do. They build your basic character. They mold you for your future roles as the custodians of the nation's defense. They make you strong enough to know when you are weak and brave enough to face yourself when you are afraid. They teach you to be proud and unbending and honest failure, but humble and gentle in success. Not to substitute words for actions, nor to seek the path of comfort, but to face the stress and spur of difficulty and challenge. To learn to stand up in the storm, but to have compassion on those who fall. To master yourself before you seek to master others. To learn to laugh, yet never forget how to weep. To reach into the future, yet never forget the past. To be serious, yet never take yourself too seriously. To be modest, so that you will remember the simplicity of true greatness, the open mind of true wisdom, the meekness of true strength. They give you a temper of the will, a quality of the imagination, a vigor of the emotions, a temperamental predominance of courage over timidity, an appetite for adventure over love of ease.